What's good, YouTube and Twitch? We're live to both with the Banlist discussion. That's right, the Euro WCQ has wrapped up, and we head towards Worlds. For all but like 40 some odd people, the 2019 competitive season has ended, and we look to that expiring no sooner than July 1st, Banlist coming up. And I think it'll probably be a little bit after Worlds before we get it, so there might be some impacts there. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Rusty Bardish and Nightmare Mermaid for Orcust. Everybody wants one of these two to go, and I do think on the upcoming ban list, even if it is a minor ban list, Konami is going to address one of these two. I do think Rusty Bardish going would hurt a lot more than the Nightmare Mermaid, because the Orcust decks could just fall back to Dangers and other cards that get them through their deck and really still find their way to continue summoning dark monsters. So I do think that Rusty Bardish is the bigger problem, but I also think the ban list is going to keep this upcoming ban list is going to keep the format similar, and then we're going to head towards all those YCSs coming up 3 in a row up through Fort Worth in October 6th. And then I think we'll get a major ban list when we hit Dual Devastator as well. So the format will be devastated, Dual Devastator will come out, and Konami's going to be like, look, we gave you everything you wanted, everything is different, and you have Dual Devastator. So, getting into the discussions, I think we still need to sell the Megatons a little. We were on this theory in chat that they're seriously going to be Twilight the Tins, furries and werewolves alongside vampires, because it says Dark Saviors in there, and we could see hits to Sky Strikers after Battles of Legends, see a Zodiac 2.0, but I realistically think these will survive. I think they're going to be given in the Megatons as well, kind of similar to Dragonic Diagram. They're going to get those double printings, and if you want to hit it but not kill it, I do think for Sky Strikers, ban Eagle Booster. I know it's the worst opinion ever, but if you ban Eagle Booster, it just gets OTK'd through time and time again. Now, in terms of real advantage, a lot of people want multi-roll hit. A lot of people want engage hit. Some people even call for Widow Anchor as the top 3 realistic in the discussion. But I really think with this being one of the huge selling points of Battles of Legend, Heroes Revenge, in the off-season, so we're after the WCQ, where players are buying it specifically for this as one of its cards, I don't see them really making the same mistake they made with the Zodiac Megaton. So I think Sky Striker in its current form is going to stick around a similar power. Now, when bringing up the Saladboy part of the discussion, which did just take the Euro WCQ, I think that we're about a list and a half behind Japan. And I originally thought it would get hit right after the WCQ, but thinking towards this being a more minor list, I think they're just going to kind of leave Salad alone without direct hits for one more list. Domain Monarchs got about the time Salad Boys have to now, so I wouldn't be shocked if it was just slammed down. But seeing as how Salad was treated in the OCG, I could see this being left on a more powerful plane for one more list. But Gazelle and Spinny, I think, are kind of the obvious choices to give a bit of a chokehold to the deck. Now, I have a bunch of cards that chat has actually brought up after this next one. I really want to see Saryuja go to 1, but it's hard to see that happening with Konami knowing people are going to buy playsets of Dude, as in spend $120 on buying 3 sealed Dual Devastator boxes. So I have a hard time believing that Konami will touch the Guard Dragon engine directly from then, or put Saryuja to 1 before then. But I really hope that they do, because it just gives the rebound of the brokenness of the Guard Dragon engine a little slap on the wrist, because you still can go into the Hermetic Spheres afterwards, just have one less link pointer downwards, and I think it would be perfectly a decent hit to the Guard Dragon answer. Now, looking at some of chat's discussion points, Pankratops. OCG did hit this to 2. And in the comment section, a lot has said this does not feel like a card Konami TCG hits. And somebody even compared it to Hand Traps. It's a band-aid on the format, and I could see it surviving, but as the words left my mouth earlier, why would Konami hit a budget option for Oh, so like it is something that's being played in almost every single side deck as the 3 of, and it's making its appearance way too much on the meta. I could see Konami going by the math, because Konami USA does it in this fashion, by the math of, wow, this is in like every deck, we might have to do something about this, even Japan did. Like, that is the logic that I could see them hitting it with. I don't want them to, but I could see it going to even 1 in the TCG, but I hope it does not get touched at all. Levianeer is now searchable by Brotar. To really hurt it, you have to put it at 1. It's still a selling point potentially for the Megatons. I don't see it being hit yet. A lot of chat brought up Wyverburster and Collapse Serpent maybe appearing on the semi-limited list. It does feel like the modern day Reborn Tengu. A lot of them are playing 3 Wyverburster. It would give a small slap on the wrist to Danger Thunder, just a tiny, tiny little one, and I could see it lowering the consistency by just a smidgen. To 1 would be really weird after Konami just gave them holo upgrades as well as Pancratops, so there's another talking point. It would be really weird for them to suddenly hit these cards after doing that, especially in the dead of off-season. Like, usually we get Battles of Legend before the WCQ. This is a release after, and if they start hitting stuff from it before we've even had a chance to play it in regionals, it would leave a really bad taste in people's mouths. Now, as for some peel-off talk, the fan favorites, let's go through them. Stratos to 2 or 3. I just don't think the Konami American office really likes it, but we do have Heroes Revenge, so maybe it could go with the hero theme. We could see perhaps the 6 Samurai Link selling Rira or something similar, so I think we would get Gateway to 2 or 3, maybe around the time that's going to happen. It's not like it's tearing up the OCG. Talking about tearing up the OCG, they have Dinglong at 2, and we now have Ib the World Child's Justicar. Could Dinglong be peeling off of our list? I really hope not. I have flashbacks and bad memories, and we don't have Needle Fiber yet even. But I could see Dinglong peeling off the list, as much as I hate to say it. I would love to see Shirt to more than 1, but Konami's already said, like, sold out of Kaiba Collection. The only way I could see them, maybe as a business move, putting Shirt to more than 1 is for those unlimited prints of Kaiba Collection to sell. I really don't know if they'll be peeling it off more than 1, but I hope so. Harpy's Feather Duster is on the discussion table. We do get the Harpy's Link in Battles of Legend. I personally think it's about time we see a card like this at 1, especially with decks like Mystic Mind decks, Altergeist, Subterror. I know, they're bubbling in there. Why would we hurt them even more? I've always wanted kind of that back row nuke card to exist so that it forces negations or forces interaction, and I would like to see this at 1. Now, finally, that grass looks greener. This is a card my own heart loves and scream for, and look, Fairy Tale Snow. She's gone. Can we please have this back? But I don't think it's on Konami USA's mind. I don't think Konami USA will like this card, and I don't think we'll be seeing it back anytime soon, unfortunately. That being said, it still sticks around $6 today with people waiting in anticipation for its return. I really like grass decks. In theory, grass counters itself. The more grass decks played, the worse grass becomes, so it becomes a self-check when in a metagame. So I love that kind of theory, but it's just so much power to be able to mill all those cards in certain decks, and, you know, it is what it is, as they say. But that's my take on the upcoming ban list. I do think it will be minimalistic heading forward. But what do you think? Do you think Konami will really shake it up before all the YCSs instead of after? Or do you think they'll kind of do it towards October to really give an incentive to get people excited for the newer sealed product? How do you think you would approach it if you were Konami rather than a player? Also, I see the Guard Dragons directly being brought up, so I'm gonna just hover over Agripane and Elpie. I just think hitting them to anything but Forbidden doesn't take care of them, and I think it's too soon. They're in decks that abuse them on the side, being Thunder Dragons and then Pendulums, as the top decks really making use of them. And I just don't see these getting Forbidden quite yet. Yes, summoning from the deck seems insane. Summoning from the extra deck for free seems insane. Summoning from the graveyard, pretty dang nice. But overall, I think the logical hit is right here, but they've still got to sell it And dude, so I think the Guard Dragon engine isn't dominating all of the extra decks. So I think it kind of leaves the conversation in terms of what Konami is really focused on. But I personally do see a small problem with how insanely accessible and broken it is. That being said, it also is a, you know, part that, oh man, this just gets slammed down by an impermanence and sometimes you get stuck, or this one gets slammed. Like, it can really end up hurting, or if it gets ashed. If LP gets ashed, that's just the worst. But they have easy outs and accessibility. And I actually did leave out a card here within the fan favorites. Construct is a card that could peel off to more than one also, and really give an incentive to certain kinds of decks. And let's face it, Super Poly would get kind of happy with this too. Any light monster. I think that Construct should easily come back to 2, but I don't know if Konami is going to act on that one either. But like I said, what's your thoughts on it? If you enjoyed the discussion, please subscribe. Use my TCG player link down below if you're ever shopping TCG player. And do support on Patreon or become a channel member if you want to further the channel. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.